Hi everybody, thank you for clicking on this video. I just wanted to give an update about what is going on right now. I debated recording this at all, but I have committed from the beginning to be totally honest throughout this entire thing, so that is what I wanted to do. So this weekend we've had family in town and we have been spending time with them out of town, a short distance away from our home. And we've been having a lot of fun and just trying to stay busy and distracted for the most part. And it's been great, but we did get a call, or I got a text, I should say. We didn't get a call. I got a text on Saturday night, it was like Saturday afternoon, that my surrogate, Georgia, was feeling bad. She just wasn't feeling good. She has having a lot of like pain and cramps and like discomfort, which can totally go either way in this process. Like some people will tell you, that that's a good sign and that's perfect, and some people can tell you that like your body is rejecting this process. Like it really could go either way. So she said that it was like on and off, and that she really was gonna try to just rest and drink a bunch of water and lay down. That was her only real symptom. And then Saturday night, like all throughout the night, she was texting me saying, and this was like 4 days past the transfer, so she was texting me saying like, man, I'm really not feeling well. Like I called the fertility office and like no one called me back, and just that she didn't feel well. So then I obviously, I wasn't awake all night like texting her. I just saw the text the next morning, and then Sunday morning, which would be 5 days post-transfer, I texted her and was like, hey, how are you feeling? And she's like, oh, I feel a little bit better now. It just seems to come and go depending on what I'm doing or how I'm laying, or just sometimes just random. But it's like cramping, and she said even like her hips were cramping, and that she was just generally uncomfortable. So, I was like, well, how about I send you, she didn't have any like Tylenol, so I was like, how about I send you some Tylenol? So I sent her like just like a grocery order from like shipped to her house, some Tylenol and just like some goodies or whatever, and was just like kind of waiting. And then she then texted me like a little bit later on just a picture of a pregnancy test, and she said, it's negative, but I know it's still really early. And I was just like, oh my God, like wasn't expecting that, of course. And so I understand, day 5 is like super early, and so I was like, okay, I got positive pregnancy tests for both of my pregnancies through IVF on day 4, but I know that everybody is different. Every body is different. And so I was like, okay, well, that's fine, just like keep me posted, I guess. Thank you for telling me. And then, so with that order, I sent her with the Tylenol order, I sent her some good pregnancy tests, because the ones that she had were these weird, they weren't even like the strip tests from the Dollar Tree. They're like digital Dollar Tree version tests. I don't know. I had never seen them. They weren't the kind that you dip. It was like a dropper and like a plastic thing. And it was like pink dye or something, like red dye or something. I don't know. So, and I was like, well, I'm going to just send you these in case you feel like testing again. These are the ones that I used. I know they're very sensitive. And they're basically like the CVS brand version of like the like EPT ones or whatever. Like it's just the generic brand of them. Only because I had read at that time that those were even better than the brand name. So I was like, I'll try them. I did actually try both, and by that point, they were the same, but the line on my CVS test was darker. So I was like, this seems to be more accurate or whatever. And so I just sent them to her. And then I was like, let me know how you're feeling. Maybe try like a heating pad on your back, because that can kind of take some of the discomfort away in the front. Like that's what I did when I had like period cramps back in the day. And because I know she can't put it directly on her belly. So I was just like, let me know. And so she was like, okay, I'm going to take a nap and I've got to run to the store or something. So I was like, all right, well, I'll talk to you later. And then like I was driving home from being on this little like whatever mini vacation thing, and it was just and I was driving alone. My husband had left. We were like letting our family members use our car, so we were driving separately back because I had picked up the car. And so I'm alone in the car, and I got a text that was just a picture of a pregnancy test, and she said, it's positive, the line is there. And I was like, not ready for that, to receive that information while I was driving. So of course I like pulled over, and I'm like looking at it, and sure enough, there's a not even a squinter, as you would call it, like you could see it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I immediately called, or I immediately texted her and was like, this is so exciting, like how do you feel, you know, like what are you thinking, you know? And she was like, I'm so happy for you, like we did it, blah blah blah. And then I called my husband right away, and I was like, oh my gosh, like it's positive, whatever. And then I could tell that he was like getting choked up, and he was like, I can't even, because initially like he didn't know who I was talking about. He thought I meant the cousin that I was spending time with. I was like, she's pregnant. And he was like, she is, like meaning like the person that I was with this whole weekend. And I was like, no. Our surrogate is pregnant, you know? And he was like, are you kidding me? He's like, I don't even know what to say, you know, I'm freaking out, you know, like what do we do? And I was like, we are happy, you know, whatever. Because even though this has been so heavily planned for and everything, it's still shocking. I mean, you don't, like, the fact that this works at all is just like mind-blowing. So then, you know, I was like just freaking out, of course, and got home. Finally, it was an hour drive before I even got home. And so I got home, and then we like, I saw my husband, I gave him a hug, and we were like really excited. And then like later on in the evening, I was texting her, my surrogate, and she was like, you know, I definitely, you know, my boobs are starting to get sore, and I'm really tired. And I was like, well, I mean, and she is on like a ton of hormones, so all of those things can happen anyway, you know, just artificially, you know what I mean? Like you're kind of being like forced into that feeling regardless. And so then this morning she sent me another test, and it was much darker. So that's great news. We are still so early in this process. Like it has been 6 days since the transfer today. So I fully am aware that this could definitely be like, you know, something that doesn't end up coming to fruition. And I am at peace with whatever happens. Of course, I will grieve that situation if that does happen. But in my mind, these embryos or embryo, whatever one's stuck, or maybe they both stuck, I won't know yet. These babies, children, lives, whatever you want to call them, whatever you want to refer to them as, deserve our excitement just like any of our pregnancies have. Just like my oldest son, just like the pregnancy we lost, just like my second son. And they just deserve our happiness. You know, we are their parents regardless. We created them. And they are wanted, and they are loved, and they deserve to feel that, even if maybe they can't. But I feel like the excitement deserves to be there. And I don't want to not get my hopes up for them, because why not? Like, if you don't have that in life, then what do you have? Hope. I mean, I hope that they make it. My hopes are up. I am obviously going to stay realistic, and I do know the odds, and I do know the reality of what this looks like, but I don't care. I am happy that this is happening. I hope it continues to happen. And if you guys could do anything, if you could just pray for us, pray for these baby, whatever's in there, to just stay stuck and happy. And please, just like put all of your energy into this. Like, I don't know how else to say that. All of the energy you're willing to give into just hoping the best for this pregnancy, for her safety, for the safety of the baby or babies, for everything along the way. If you could just please pray for that, like I couldn't ask for anything more than that. And your support has been ridiculous and wonderful. And I have made so many friends, and I've had such excellent resources through this process. And I just want to thank you guys for that wholeheartedly. So from here, we go on October 8th, like I mentioned, and she will have her blood drawn in the morning, and we will have the results later in the afternoon. I was told generally they call her first, and then they call me second. So knowing her, I'm sure she'll text me before they can even call me and like tell me what the results are. And like I said, they no longer do a second pregnancy test a couple days later. They just go that and 2 weeks after that for, I guess it would be 2 weeks after that, right? So the week of the 21st of October, they would at someday they'll go. She'll go in for the heartbeat ultrasound, which will also tell us like how many made it in there. And so we will wait for that before I like, and I won't even then feel like I'm in the clear, but at least I'll be able to see it physically with my eyes and see the heartbeat or the flicker or whatever it is at that point, and have a little bit more assurance, I guess. But it this has been huge, and I can't believe that I'm talking to you about this now. Like, I can't believe that this is a reality for us. I'm really excited and I'm relieved, of course, but I am still very nervous. And so please, you guys, just pray for us, pray for the babies, whatever's in there, and pray for our surrogate, please, because we all need it. And I really hope to have more good news on our next update. Thank you so much for watching and for the support. Bye.